I think this is a good name. The Dinger Zone top 5 actors you bet are annoying while filming a movie.
While on set, we should say,
Okay.
not while filming a movie, because just in case somebody has a TV actor. I don't have one, but just in case. It also gives the Jareds a bit of grace. And it's also I had rules for myself, which is I cannot have worked with them before.
Yeah,
Just so
yeah.
it's like I
Maybe,
bet
yeah.
that person's such a pain in the ass, like that kind of thing. Instead of people who are actually I
This guy's
know
a
for
real.
a fact is an asshole. Like you know,
I definitely haven't worked with any of the ones on my list.
I hear tale.
right, right. Which is why I wanted to make sure, like, and I had to for two of them. I literally had to be like, have I worked with them? No, I haven't worked with them.
All right, well, I'll be right back.
Totally forgot Henry Thomas is in this movie. Totally
I
forgot
did
that.
too. I absolutely did. In fact, I forgot so much that when I saw him, I was like, he looks really familiar. I had to look up who it was.
He's Mike Milligan's guy. Like Mike Milligan uses him in everything he does. And so like basically he has that on top of everything else he's done. And so when you go through his filmography, because I'm looking through it here, like it's really impressive the amount of work he has done that people are still just think of him as Elliot.
Yeah, that's all I think of him as.
And it's just crazy just how much he's done. And then besides the Mike Milligan stuff, it's like, oh, he's literally done like how many acting credits does he have? He
I'm gonna
has
guess. Let me guess.
go
I'm
ahead.
gonna guess about 33, something like that.
159.
Oh, I undershot by a lot.
Yeah, he's in everything, man. Oh, I'm sorry. I am incorrect, sir. He has 78 acting credits.
Okay.
And then he has 5 more coming up.
See, I was afraid you were going to tell me he's the only guy with more credits than Eric Roberts.
That would be impossible. There's not enough time in the day.
Yeah, he has shot. He's like shot 400 films in 1 year.
There's no way he's memorized his lines, right?
Oh,
There's
of
just no
course
way.
not.
He does too many. His lines have to be on cue cards. They have to be.
Oh gee, I can't remember the movie now. In the novel, or not the novel, in the book, the nonfiction book that I like so much about Full Moon and all the films they made, I can't remember which movie he was in, but they literally said he had a nighttime shoot for another movie. He would come as soon as he finished that shoot to shoot all day for the Full Moon movie, and they have no idea when he slept, and he definitely had to be fed his lines.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, whenever an actor like specifically I'm thinking of Michael J. Fox here. So, the big story about Michael J. Fox on Back to the Future is he would be shooting Family Ties and then he'd get driven over to Back to the Future set. And if you hear Michael J. Fox tell the story, he goes, and I slept in my trailer between the takes that they didn't need me for, and I slept in the car. But really, the answer is cocaine. Like the answer
no
has
other.
to be, no question, it's cocaine or speed. It's one or the other.
Yeah.
Why not both?
Hey, why not both? Why not? He's
saw,
taking greenies and cocaine all day.
Kevin Bacon. I saw like an interviews, probably maybe a couple years old or whatever. Just flipping through the TikTok there of Kevin Bacon being interviewed by Rich Eisen. Rich Eisen's talking about Footloose, not Footloose, but Animal House.
Animal House.
And he got paid like $2,000 for that. And he goes,
Oh my god.
He goes, so you went through all of that money in like a week, true or false? He's just like, true. It's like, it's like I didn't have any money, and like he didn't say it in so many words, but essentially he was like cocaine.
Yes, of course.
Man. The funniest like entertainment related drug story I've heard lately is the guy who played the kid on Baywatch.
Hobie?
Yeah, Hobie. Well,
I can't believe I pulled
Jeremy
that out
something
of
or
my
other.
What
But
a
like
pull, that poor
he
guy.
didn't
Impressive.
he had an absentee father, so he said that Hasselhoff actually kind of became his father figure. And
See
at
that?
some point in his teens, he was strung out on like heroin, cocaine, maybe some pain, whatever he could get his hands on, he was strung out. And he was just in bad shape on set. And David Hasselhoff pulled him aside and said, "Have you been smoking marijuana?"
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
A little harder than that.
He said, "I can honestly say no." That's the one thing I didn't have in my system.
You just go, no. You don't answer any of the other things. You just go, no.
So Bruce, you want to start this week?
Oh, the best thing that happened? I would
Yeah.
love to. Because the best thing that happened, there was this figure at this store that I looked at and kept saying, "I'll get it later. I'll get it later." When I was finally ready to get it, it was gone. It was the character from Silent Night, Deadly Night in his Santa suit.
Oh.
And by the time I finally went in to get it, it was gone. So I sort of made a new oath that the next time I really, really want something, I just got to pull the trigger before it has a chance to be gone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I got this beauty right here.
Oh, dang.
That is my Castle Freak figure, complete with the mangled cat. He's got the flail. He's got the chain. But yes, that is my best story of the week. Is I got this figure and I love it. It'll be showing up in future videos, I suspect.
And what about you, Adam?
Tax right off. So Tuesday, as I mentioned last week, I was going to take my 12-year-old nephew to see the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
Right. How'd that go?
It went well. So it was a substitute teacher at his middle school that day. So I picked him up at school, and then went back to my place, changed clothes and everything, and then we headed on up. The plan initially was to go to a Spirit Halloween, but not a Spirit Halloween in the area open. Can you believe that bullcrap?
Huh.
It's not September yet.
I'm like, really? I thought this would be a perfect time. I'm starting to see videos of people out there and stuff. So I thought, oh, well, shoot, because I know he's never been to one. So I was like, man, he would absolutely love this. And I was like, well, that's a little bit disappointing. But we're out and we go see, we're out at Target, just killing a little bit of time. Because I figured we'd be at the, that store for a couple hours, but no. So we're walking around Target, and he sees a guy who I can only describe to you to simplify and get something in your mind as quickly as possible, is to say that this gentleman looked like Robert Smith from The Cure.
Oh, wow.
And now Max has never seen a gentleman that has kind of had all this decked out in real life. And God bless him, it took him a lot, but he held it together. He was like, whoa, bro. So I had to, we had to reel it in a little bit. I was just like, hey, just,
How old was the Robert Smith lookalike?
Oh, he was probably, I would say he's probably somewhere in his 30s.
Wow,
Okay.
really holding on to it. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I would say probably early-ish 30s, early mid 30s. I'd venture a guess. I can get too good a look, but I was like,
Makes me wonder what his job is. It must be work from home, something or other, phone calls or something.
I wish I would have made a bet, because son of a bitch, if he was not in our Texas Chainsaw screening,
Of course.
when we were there,
Of course.
I was
What
like,
else
man,
would he be there to see?
I was just like, dude, I would have looked like Nostradamus going, I bet you money. And like, he'd be like, no way, dude. No way he's going. I'm like, I promise you, I should have done that. I would have, because I would have won that bet so easily. It's insane. But my brother showed up, and he, like, Max didn't know that he was showing up. So that was a nice thing. So other uncle shows up to this event. Luckily, neither one of them were scared in any way, shape, or form, because at the end of the day, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is not a scary film. It's pretty bloodless, and there's, in fact, a lot of very funny stuff in that movie. They had to stop themselves from laughing, because there are funny things in it. Like they're messed up funny, but they're funny.
Now, how did he feel about Franklin? Did you ask him specifically how he felt about Franklin?
Well, I told Mark that Franklin will remind you of our friend Corn Dog. our friend Brian, and it's like he couldn't stop laughing because all he could see was Brian in a wheelchair, just being a big old bitch and complaining and stuff all the time. It's like, yeah, that's exactly what he does. So,
Oh my goodness.
but I have to help people. I feel like it's my mission to give people the warning ahead of time that like you're free to hate Franklin because
Yeah, some people
He's
feel bad
awful.
about hating him.
when I think once he gets into his raspberry spit off there and everything, I think you really have to have crossed the hate Rubicon for him at that point.
I like that. The hate Rubicon.
You're just like, no, this guy, I can't wait till he dies.
The hate
Sean, what about
Rubicon.
you?
So first of all, let's start with this. So guys are guys, no matter what the situation is, no matter who you're around, it does not matter.
Dudes
So-
be duty.
So the day before, I am discussing with these guys that and it's like people who are like, some of them are very, very famous and some of them are millionaires and like some of them like whatever, so like, and I'm discussing with somebody else. I'm like, oh, so yeah, I took the scooter tire off and because this week I bought a non-pneumatic tire, which means that it doesn't have an inner tube in it. You can just you're supposed to be able to just pop it on, right? And so after about 2 hours, say what?
It probably
Say
doesn't
what?
even need air.
Nowhere at all, right?
Yeah, it's non-pneumatic.
Right. It's a rubber, and the rubber is like, it's not a hard rubber, but it's harder than a pneumatic tire. So it holds its shape, right? Well, I get that. They finally come in the mail. I'm talking to my friend about it, and there's people around who are like producers and just a bunch of like very a bunch of very famous people. And so I'm talking about like, I'm going to put this tire on the back of my scooter, blah, 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 blah. And I look around and they're all staring at me. Like all of these people where I'm like, oh, okay. Okay. Now I guess I have the room now. And so I'm telling my friend the story, and I'm like, I'm going to put this tire on. But the problem is that I spent about 2 hours trying to get this tire on the back of my electric scooter, and it doesn't go on. I can't get it on. So I finally look it up online, and I go, oh, okay. So I'm supposed to boil this tire, like, so it expands, and you can put, and it'll be more pliable to put it on the back, right? But I don't have enough time. Like, I got to go to bed. I got to get up tomorrow. And so I was like, so I didn't have time. And so when we get out of here tonight, I'm going to boil that tire. Well, cut to the next day. I get to work. I start up my day, and literally like 3 of the guys are like, so? And I'm like, so what? And they're like, what about the tire? Did you boil the wheel? And I was like, oh, yeah, yes, I did. I said, yeah, I did. And it still took me like 40 minutes, but I got it on there. And one of the guys goes, oh, man, when it finally slides on, though, it's the best feeling in the world, isn't it? I was like, oh, my God. It literally was like, I can't believe it. I can't believe I got it on there. And I was like, and the other part to this is that I had to boil it, and I had like the oven mitts to put it on so I wouldn't burn shit out of my hands. But the problem is you need your fingers in order to like finesse it in. And so and it still needs to be hot. So I ended up having to take the oven mitts off and just burning the living shit out of my hands. As I'm putting this on here, and I'm like, oh, hot damn. Oh, hot damn.
That's the best way to do it.
Sucks. And I got it on, but I got it on. And like people who believe me when I tell you, some of their work, were like, oh, that's awesome, man. It's the best thing in the world. And I was like, I cannot believe, how did I get here? Like, it was just the best feeling in the world. It was so funny and weird.
That king boxer where you just, get that heat hands.
Oh, yeah. Like after, like it's like a kung fu training montage, but like just boiling your hands over and over and over again. Yeah.
That's what makes him so good.
That's why his hands are impervious to pain. These hands ain't impervious to pain.
Yeah. Give me 1 second here. Boop, boop, and here we are. On this, our fourth week of development hell, we've checked out another movie that took decades to make it to fruition. And how much of this can we actually blame on Harvey Weinstein? Welcome to Half-Ass Movie Podcast. Welcome back, Get Dirty, babies. It's time for another Half-Ass Movie Podcast, a show where we put together a half-ass team as an excuse to watch movies. My name is Adam Fortress, and joining me today, don't mind him, he used to be an Irishman, Sweet Sean Zakovacs from the internet.
I still am. I still am. By the way, that filthy top hat isn't doing anything for you.
And he can't wait until plaid pants are back in style, Bruce Leslie.
I think you guys are just a couple of fiddling bins.
Hey, this is a family program. Watch out now, everybody. Well, welcome back, everyone. We are back in our development hell month, and this week we are checking out a movie that started with a party in the early 70s. Did you guys know this?
Yeah, I didn't know about the party, but I knew it started in the 70s.
Scorsese was like literally walking around a party. He does not now again, this is also where it's very indicative of the 1970s of you were at a party, you don't know where this party was at, you don't know whose party this house was at. So my guess is there's a lot of cocaine going on
Of course.
In this time. And
it would be weird if there wasn't. It would be way weirder if they're just enjoying rotisserie chicken.
So as one does in the 70s, you know, you walk around someone's house and there's a big giant bookcase there and you kind of peruse what's going on. And being the type of guy that he is, Gangs of New York kind of jumped out to Martin Scorsese. He picked that book out, leafed through it and everything. And, you know, that became the sort of little love affair with this and the idea of this era and stuff. And we'll get into how, you know, all the different makes and everything. So I happen to know a decent enough about this movie. So it's gonna be a good time when we're talking about a very long development hell there, but how people like Harvey Weinstein and of course Leonardo DiCaprio got this bad boy made and stuff. So has it been a minute since you guys have seen this?
It'd been at least 20 years for me, but I've been wanting to rewatch it for a while, so this was the perfect chance. I do know the story is that in 1979 they ran a full-page ad in Variety that says, "We will begin filming Gangs of New York soon."
Missed it by that much.
Yeah, and then even when they finally did get it made, it was delayed a year because of September 11th attacks.
Yeah, it was quite the thing. We'll talk about kind of the production that went on here and everything. But I remember
the last time I saw this movie was 2002.
Oh, so probably in the theater one.
In the movie theater.
Yes. This was probably, I think this was the second Scorsese movie I had seen in a theater, because growing up, obviously, I couldn't see a lot of the other ones. But I did see Bringing Out the Dead, because we just knew that was going to be bananas on account of that trailer and Nicolas Cage. Even though Nicolas Cage wasn't doing quite what he's doing now, he was still Nicolas Cage, you know. So you knew he was going to give you something wacky, and then
Bringing Out the Dead is earlier than Gangs of New York,
just by one.
Wow, I didn't have any idea. I thought it was a much newer movie.
Yeah, and well, that's what was so funny is that like Scorsese was on a long string of, to be frank, failures. And you know, and it's surprising. And this is his most expensive movie to date at this point, and probably he should not have gotten the money for this and everything. But we'll get into all that.
You know why? Leo got him that money.
A little bit. Now, before we jump into that review, we do want to remind people that the show you're listening to is a live show every Sunday evening over at 8 p.m. on YouTube. Why don't you join our lovely dirty babies over there in the chat, and make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, as well as the notification bell, so you know when we got live shows like this going down, man. You don't forget about it. So why don't you do that for you? So we really appreciate it. And if you really enjoy this show, why don't you head on down to patreon.com/HMP. Join up at any level. Get yourself pre-show, post-show, and Dinger Zone. This week's Dinger Zone, we are talking our top 5 actors that we imagine are going to be annoying on set. Because as we see with the Gangs of New York here this week, and I'll talk about it in a second, But Daniel Day-Lewis is doing what Daniel Day-Lewis does, a little bit of method acting here and everything. So you weren't really talking to Mr. Day-Lewis on the set of Gangs of New York. You were talking to Bill.
Yeah.
We'll get into all that sort of stuff. But well, do us a big giant favor. Patreon.com/HMP. Join up at any level. We really appreciate that. Love you guys. And stay tuned for the Dinger Zone right after this if you're listening on the live stream and everything. And then we cut that out later. That's why. Patreon.com/HMP. Well, boys, let's get into it. Here is the IMDb plot line for the Gangs of New York. As we all know, IMDb always 100% correct in everything they say and or do. In 1862, Amsterdam Valen returns to the 5 Points area of New York City seeking revenge against Bill the Butcher, his father's killer. Not too bad, IMDb. Right to the point. This is starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Daniel Day-Lewis, Cameron Diaz, Henry Thomas, back from the summer of Spielberg. I told you he was stealing stuff. We got Jim Broadbent, Brendan Gleeson, John C. Reilly, and, of course, Liam Neeson's. This is written by Jay Cox. Now, this was his first feature, actually, was Age of Innocence in 1993 with Scorsese.
Hold on, sir. Mm-hmm. Sir, do you know what Jay Cox claims?
Oh, no, okay.
Jay Cox claims that he did rewrites on Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope.
No
and
shock.
He claims that he wrote the crawl, the opening crawl to Star Wars.
I would understand that Milius at least rewrote the crawl to some degree. That was my understanding. So, and maybe they teamed up. That's possible. Maybe
the
other refined, perhaps.
But I had heard the Milius thing forever. Until doing some back matter this week, I had never even heard of Jay Cox until this. Mm-hmm. And so what I hope it's not true. And this guy's just making wild claims. Like it's way cooler if he didn't do it. Like it's way cooler. It's a better story. It means he's a fabulist, and I like everything about that. Whereas if he actually did it, it means that he's been sitting quietly for 30 years, not getting any credit for, one of the most iconic openings to a movie ever.
He got paid to punch up the Constitution.
Exactly right. Yes.
It is a little interesting, the career, because you got Age of Innocence in 93. Then he writes Stranger Days for Catherine Bigelow in 95. And then pretty much nothing up until Gangs of New York, right? Mm-hmm. Then his next one would be with Scorsese. His next big one with Scorsese would be Silence in 2016. And then all the way into 2025 for Complete Unknown, the Bob Dylan flick. I don't know. It's really weird that he kind of jumps all around like that.
Well, it's because he's a script doctor, right? Because he wrote for like the Academy Awards. He has all of these like disparate like writing credits, which tells me that he is somebody who's in back room somewhere, like punching up scripts and things like that that he's not getting credit for. And so because of that, you'll get these like these jumps from like A Complete Unknown in 2024. The thing he wrote before that is Silence in 2016, which tells me that for those years, it's not like he's living off of all that sweet Silence money. Like he's punching up scripts. He's a script doctor. He's doing stuff like that. Or maybe he's living off of that sweet Silence money. I don't know. But it sure feels to me like he's a script doctor for sure.
Speaking of doctors, though, it was then the script was given over for a bit to Steve Zalian to rewrite / organize, because apparently it was a big giant tome and just really needed kind of crafting into a usable piece there and everything. You'll know Steve Zalian, of course, from Awakenings, Schindler's List, Clear and Present Danger, American Gangster, Moneyball, Fincher's Girl with a Dragon Tattoo. Your boy gets around a little bit. But Steve got busy and he had to go shoot another movie. So Scorsese then talked in Kenneth Lonergan into on the way to Rome and everything onto his honeymoon. And he convinced him to actually stay for a couple of months. He's like, hey, I know you're going to your honeymoon and everything. Why don't you just stop on over for here a little bit? Wow. And they ended up writing there for several months.
Can you imagine creating something that other people deem important work? So important that like people's like life milestones get disrupted so they can work on your thing. I mean, come on, man. That's crazy.
Honey, Martin Scorsese's calling. Okay.
That's what I mean. That you've reached a level where like not too many people have gone.
No.
Listen, I know it's our honeymoon. However, Martin Scorsese's on the phone, and you know that his new wife was probably like, "Yeah, it's Martin Scorsese. Take that phone call. What are you doing?"
Yeah. He came in, he rewrote some stuff and everything, just some like kind of final polishes on what this. His work includes, get this, it's all over the place. We got analyze this and analyze that, right?
Sure.
Now, how could you get any different from that? That's right. He also wrote Manchester by the Sea.
Holy shit, really?
That's some range.
Would you like to get a little bit more different than that? You got it. We've got The Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle from 2000. That's right. The one with De Niro as fearless.
You should have led with that, Adam. You should have led with that.
Mm-hmm.
But there's something about that movie because a lot of very, very famous people worked on that movie. And I don't know what brought them all in on it.
Money laundering.
It's got to be that. It's got to be that because no one saw it. I mean, I
I've
had
never seen
Showtime. I had Showtime on my cable box in my room in college, and like I saw it that way. It was on Showtime, and it was like, how are there so many famous people? It was crazy how many famous people are in it. It's got to be money laundering, right? It's got to be.
Some sort of cabal going on. Oh, of De Niro's performance as fearless leader, Gene Siskel raved the performance of a lifetime. Okay, I made that part up.
I'm guessing that they look past Gene's betting losses and were like, hey, how about we just call it even if you say that this is a good movie?
Okay, all right. We'll wipe you clean for the rest.
That man had a gambling issue, a big time gambling issue.
Oh, and this cat also wrote 2 episodes of one of my favorite animated shows growing up, Doug. I don't know. This
man,
that directed by Martin Scorsese.
That is so your generation though. Like that show is so your generation because I think Doug is just fine. You know, but like I was way too old for Doug, but like people exactly your age think that that's a touchstone, like that's a milestone of a cartoon. And I understand. I mean, when you're a kid and you go to the weird channel and there's a weird cartoon on there, you're like, oh, this is just for me. I literally found this, so I understand.
Is Doug contemporary with Rugrats? That's kind of the time
yes.
period I have in my head.
Yes, it's the same.
Like 3 shows. That and Ren and Stimpy were like the 3 things of like all the gajillion things that they put together to try to get the Nicktoon stuff going, and those were the 3 winners.
Yep,
good stuff.
Only one's a sexual predator. Keep going.
But what a show, though! What a show!
What a show!
So yeah, man. So the year is, like I said, in through the 70s. There, him and the first guy, they go through a whole bunch of different little things. The funny part is like when they decide to do this movie initially, they're like, "Oh, this kind of era is over. They don't really want to see a movie like this." So we waited, and then they. You know, and then it's like, and then Martin Scorsese is like, then I did this amazing film, and then this amazing film, and then you're like, all right, just you need to shut up with this. Like,
let's calm down over there, eyebrows.
Is it time to do this now? And I'm just like, I think you probably could have done this anytime that you wanted to, because he's just like, oh yeah, after Raging Bull, we decided maybe that we should, really try to start looking at this properly, and I think that's when their first, go at this was a little bit after that, but really. The kind of guardian angel to this all, of which he also seems to be his guardian angel overall, is Michael Ovitz.
Really?
Michael Ovitz is like a little genie for Martin Scorsese. For whatever reason, whenever Scorsese is down and needs some money, Ovitz kind of flies in and just goes, "Hey, why don't we just give him this money?" Like he's like that. For somehow, some way, Ovitz can come in and get the things that Scorsese cannot get financed. He can talk to somebody and smooth talk someone in to giving him the money that he needs. It's really kind of bizarre.
I heard at one point he was given $30 million to make this, and he said, "No, that's just not going to do it." because he, at one point in time, he actually wanted to shoot this in New York City, which I don't have any idea how you get the production design you need in New York City.
No, neither do
You
I.
can't. I mean, you would have to literally shut down New York to do it.
You'd have to demolish buildings, man. I mean, there's none of those old buildings anymore.
Get out of here, man. There's no way. There's no way.
Yeah, but much easier to film in Rome and Cinecittà.
Sure.
But this is a rough, like I said, this is despite all of those, the great accolades and stuff that had been going on for a bit. Scorsese's movies had been kind of tanking at this point, and he was making these giant budget movies. They were not getting any kind of return, and at the exact same time, the problem was Harvey Weinstein was having a big problem over at Miramax, because Miramax had been doing a lot of great stuff, and everyone else in the field had started to learn, had started to see the things that he was doing, and they were in the other mini majors and actual majors then were going out and kind of sniping the films that normally Miramax would find, eat up for a nickel and a half, sell, and then get a whole bunch of money. Whereas like there are people like Disney and stuff that are going like, oh, or not Disney, but outside of the Disney, Miramax area, that can just go like, oh, we're going to do this. And then all of a sudden that's successful. Miramax all of a sudden doesn't have these films. And the thing that is successful over at Miramax is all the Dimension stuff. So all the Bob stuff is kicking off. And as you might imagine, Harvey is none too pleased with this. At this point, he's actually going through like medical stuff. Like he had big giant heart problems and stuff. So he was out for a good while. He came back in just going like, I need to make my big stamp on stuff. And he was frankly just tired of other people kind of running around and, doing what he used to do. So he's like, oh, I'll throw my weight around this. Finally, finds that Scorsese's wanting to do this. It's like, oh yeah, I want to be in the Scorsese business. Why not? But he can already, he does what Harvey's always kind of done, and that's sniff Oscars. He's a little truffle pig for Oscars and stuff. And so he senses that with this. So he automatically puts himself on as a producer, which everybody tells him not to do. Like even his brother's just like, hey man, that ain't what we do over here. Don't put your name on like this. Like, you let them go do their thing and we sell the stuff, and that's what we do over here. But Harvey wants an Oscar, man. So he wants that producing Oscar there. So he gets involved, and he is on the set more than anybody. Like literally a couple 100 days, like 100 days plus.
Wow. Really?
Pretty unheard of, especially like when you're in Rome. Because usually you do that to get away from all the suits. We're going to shoot in Rome, and no one's coming out to Rome for all this. And when he goes, I'm going to spend 100 days over here in Rome supervising and doing all the things that he does, you're in bad shape.
It's kind of surprising too, because there's so few females in the cast.
It's like there's like two. I mean, honestly, like the most I've ever worked on a show where the suits show up is like 3 days at the most, and it's when you're on something that is going terribly wrong. Like that's literally about it. So for him to be there for 100 days, my word, how many days of shooting did they have?
It was a lot. Everything went well over budget. I think they initially had the budget at around like 60 to 80, and then that went up, and like it's well over 100 by the end of everything. But super overages for stuff. Scorsese shoots slow as all get out, and as you might imagine, that really drove them up a wall of just like, can we not get things going here? And just like, hey, this is just what I do.
It's Martin Scorsese. You're gonna let him do whatever the hell he wants,
which is interesting because like the amount of like, and just. It's wild when you think about it, right? Because Harvey Weinstein was considered like, a very progressive guy. You have a very progressive sort of company here and everything with all of your values and stuff. But there were so many weird little things that he would have problems with, like the jar of ears, for example.
Really?
That grossed him out to such a degree.
That's kind of the point.
He didn't want that. He didn't want the rat stuff in there. He was like, I'll give you an extra, like, it was either $1 million or $3 million to take that out.
Wow.
And Scorsese's like, no, no, I'm not gonna do that. So like there were so many just weird little things, and like he wanted to control a lot of weird stuff, like all of the different um, dialect options and stuff like that, all the different sayings that we aren't used to, like, oh, she's a stargazer
Yeah.
and all that kind of good jazz, all the
Mhm.
little Irish sayings and whatnot. He wanted all that stuff out. He's just like, people aren't going to understand what any of this stuff is. This
Oh,
is
that's
just
so charming,
confusing to
though.
people.
Yeah, I
It
think
is,
it's so much
it is
fun.
to us, but like for whatever reason, he's just like, no, people aren't going to like this. It's just like, no, it's fine. What do you want about? It's so weird though, because as like he had some control, obviously, because you're a producer, you'll have some control to some degree or other. But there's obviously things like scores like Tarantino, where Scorsese is going to kind of have the final word here, more or less. But
Right.
you said, but I suppose you can suggest all day if you want to. But he actually, for somebody that was known as Harvey Scissorhands, that was his nickname here and everything, because he
Yeah.
would notoriously,
Right.
acquire these films and go, "Hey, this is a great film that you got here. You know, it'd be great if we lost 20 minutes out of it." And usually, it's like 20 minutes of like the character development of this
Yeah.
independent film and stuff like that. But like, people don't want to see all that crap. They want to see, them kiss and go away into the sunset or whatever. But so he wanted, this movie to be shorter. God bless him. Harvey actually said once the kind of reveal of Amsterdam to Bill there and everything, that should pretty much be the end of it. It's like you should be
Yeah.
racing to the end of the movie after that. And you know what? I think he was right.
He is right.
Yeah, in my memory, I thought it all ended pretty quickly at the celebration of the anniversary of the big fight,
Right.
but I was wrong.
So let me ask you you two guys a question. So I think unimpeachably, I think Cape Fear is was a huge, massive success in 1991, right? But
Yeah.
but what about Casino? Was Casino considered like it wasn't?
No,
No.
it didn't make a lot of money. It was the people liked
I
it.
remember it was a critical darling, though. It was
Yeah.
a critical
Right.
darling, and I liked it a lot.
Because so 91 is his last big successful movie, because Cape Fear, right? I mean, that's
Yeah.
unimpeachably a very successful movie. He does Casino in 95, which doesn't do well. He's got Bringing Out the Dead in 99, and he's doing a bunch of like side projects for people and stuff, and he's producing things, and he's executive producers on stuff. So he literally goes 11 years without making something that makes a ton of money. And that's Gangs of New York, 2002. And just looking like, who is Kundun for? The movie Kundun.
Him.
Kundun.
Who is for me?
I mean, I'm sure it's a fine movie. It's shot by Scorsese. I'm sure he's one heck of a storyteller. I don't think I need to tell you boys.
Yeah.
But the projects he makes, it's sort of like what he does. He's doing the thing in the 90s and late 90s. I'm sorry, all throughout the 90s that Lucas said he was going to do when they bought Lucasfilm. When Disney bought Lucasfilm from him, I'm finally going to be able to make the movies I want. Well, George, Marty's been doing this forever, and he didn't sell something he owns for $1 billion. It's one of those things where it really is like, oh, he literally doesn't care if this makes money. Like he does not care at all. And that's got to be freeing, where you don't care at all about the money aspect of something. You're just like, no, I'm gonna make a movie about the blues, and that's it.
That's called F me money.
Yeah, it really is.
F you money, and then there's F me money, and it's like F me money. It's just like, I should know better, but I don't really care.
Look, I just made Goodfellas and Cape Fear back to back. We're good here. I'm gonna make whatever the hell I want. Thank you.
To his filmography and goes, what of this don't you understand? Maybe it's like, because I kind of thought about it. I was just like, him and kind of Spielberg, they don't always hit it out of the park, but boy, oh boy, when they do, it is absolutely, just one of the best.
Yeah.
So like I said, outside of the Weinstein thing, DiCaprio obviously is the big kind of name that made this happen. This is post Titanic, and believe it or not, believe it or not, even DiCaprio took a small pay cut on this movie.
No, when it comes to Scorsese movies,
Yeah, that's kind of what I was going to say.
He had to take that. Both him and Scorsese also had kind of I forget exactly what it was called, but they'll pay you a little bit of your stuff up front, but they have a little bit in the back here just in case for overages because we know who you are. And so both him and DiCaprio both had that in their clause there, like, hey, if you guys go over it, we got this sort of thing right here. But yeah, so he was just kind of like, hey, I get to sort of pick and choose. Now, obviously, he's become Scorsese's guy, his kind of like, next wave after De Niro there and everything. And everybody just goes like, oh, this is their first thing. Believe it or not.
No.
De Niro had been actually pumping DiCaprio to Scorsese since A Boy's Life.
Wow.
So, and even more so, Scorsese says, Bob doesn't just offer up information. If you ask him his opinion on something, he'll give it to you. He's good like that, but he's rarely a person that will volunteer, some information. But on several occasions, he was actively going and saying, Marty, you need to look at this kid. And so like over the years, he kept hearing, hey, check this guy out, check this guy out. And he was looking for something. And, obviously this role is going to be a tough one for a young guy to do, especially think of someone else around 2002. Who's doing this? Who else besides him is going to do this role?
Yeah.
I can't.
There isn't one.
Junior, no.
Maybe Matt Damon, maybe.
That Stifler guy.
Oh yeah, Sean William Scott. Yeah.
Sean William Scott is.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one. That's a good call. Different movie, but he could do it. He could do it. Oh, he could do it.
So we got that going. Daniel Day-Lewis was, of course, retired yet again at this point.
Is this when he was a cobbler?
Yes, this is the eye roll. This is the most eye rollingest thing in the world. It's not even Bruce. It's not even that he's just a cobbler. It's that he's a cobbler in Italy. Like it's just so like eye rolling. Like, of course you are. Of course you. Of course.
Geppetto.
I'm making bespoke shoes for homeless. Like, get the hell out of here. What? No, you weren't. You were not a cobbler. Like you dabbled in shoes because it sounds cool. It's not like, oh Jesus, I got to wake up at 5:30 because I got to open the shoe store. That is not something that happened. That just did not happen. If he made 5 pairs of shoes, I would be blown away. And here's another thing. And here's another thing. You don't like, where are those shoes? Like if he was a cobbler,
they would have high resale value. Like, right? They would have legitimately high resale value.
Like literally it would be like, hey, I have a pair of shoes made by Daniel Day-Lewis, and people would be like, holy cow, I'll pay way more for those than I will for my Air Agassiz. Like, hey, there's no
Day-Lewis ones.
Yeah, exactly. And so like that's what I mean. Like I do not believe for a bloody second that he made more than 5 pairs of shoes. For him to call himself a cobbler is like, I went to space camp as a kid. I was an astronaut.
I heard he worked exclusively on flip-flops.
Easier to do. I could make flip-flops. I understand that. But it's not like Daniel Day-Lewis is getting up at 4:30 in the bloody morning so the shoes are made on. That never happened.
I see him looking exactly like the guy who we got playing Don Quixote last week here and everything. I see him exactly like that.
That's what I thought. I thought Don Quixote was clearly a reference to that period in Daniel Day-Lewis's life.
Yeah, that was a Daniel Day-Lewis reference, is what that was. So we didn't realize it was 20 years later after that. So it makes sense.
I like the idea that there were people who were worried about him getting his feelings hurt. So when he went to sleep, they would come in and make some shoes, kind of like that story of the fairies who made the shoes for the cobbler.
That's brilliant. Like you're not just a shoe elf. You're a Daniel Day-Lewis shoe elf. You are the best of the shoe elves. You're literally the highest of shoe elves.
Those Keebler elves can take that and shove it.
So Daniel Day-Lewis comes in, and he does, because he's dealt with him in the past. Goes, I am doing this in spite of Harvey Weinstein, not because of him. Just so people know that, like, he was not a fan then, because it was
right. It's a pretty badly kept secret at that point.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, because here's the other urban legend that everyone knows about this movie, is that Scorsese sends Leonardo DiCaprio to New York to speak to Daniel Day-Lewis, to Dan Lewis. Like, I'm going to go talk to Dan Lewis. And so hearing DiCaprio speak about this, like, we just walked through the park and we didn't exchange any words at all. And then we're about an hour and a half on our walk, and we finally sit down at a bench, and Danny Lewis says to me, you know, I haven't acted in 5 years. I don't want to let Martin down. Do we think that actually happened? Do we think that that's a thing that actually happened? I don't
think Leonardo DiCaprio walks through the park in New York without being mobbed. You know what I mean?
Exactly,
he's like super world famous at that point.
Yes, that is exactly my point here.
Titanic.
So and he's standing next to Daniel Day-Lewis in New York City. No, that didn't happen.
These two guys that are both like over 6 feet tall, so big dudes that you'd easily recognize, especially around this time. Again, we're right off of Titanic.
You know those plaid.
And basically, because the story is that Leonardo DiCaprio talked Danny Lewis into doing the movie, right? That it wasn't Scorsese, it was Leonardo DiCaprio who did it. And I don't believe that either. There's so much shenanigans with the back matter of this movie in particular, where I'm just like, that's not a thing. That didn't actually happen. Nope, that didn't happen either.
What do you think about Bill the Butcher's accent that Daniel Day-Lewis went with? Because I read, I don't know if it's true or if it's an urban legend, but I read about how he came up with that accent.
Well, I think it's I think it's a really good accent. And I'll tell you why, Bruce, is that my grandmother was from Ireland, but she lived in Boston and Norwich, Connecticut for the majority of her life. And so she had a bit of an Irish accent when she spoke, but she also spoke with a hard New England accent. And so it would just be flying all over the place, to the point where my dad would sometimes have to translate to us what she just said, because I couldn't understand what she was saying sometimes. And I think that Danny Lewis does a good job with that, because it's one of those accents where it's like, no one has this accent, and that's okay.
Well, you know, Bill wasn't Irish, Bill the Butcher.
Right.
But what I had come across is he got that accent because he found a wax cylinder of Walt Whitman, who was a New Yorker around this time, talking poetry or something, and he based his accent on what Walt Whitman sounded like on that wax cylinder. Because it is sort of like, it's believable and it's good, but it's like, where is this accent from?
Because it's from everywhere. Like, that's kind of how it was. And with my grandmother in particular, you know, like, she could speak with an American accent, and she'd be speaking with that Boston, New Englandy accent, and then the Irish accent. It would just fly all over the place because it's the way it was. I mean, honestly.
I like to think of it as a Daniel Day-Lewis accent, if we're honest. Like, because think about, like, just the myriad of roles that he has. It's just like, with those speaking roles, they're not necessarily ever really like someone that you've truly heard in real life before.
Yeah,
it's because it's always very almost unique to him and the performance that he's kind of putting together. Because you wouldn't listen to that and just go like, oh, that's from such and such, or this is no. He's crafting something very specific and purposeful in everything that he's doing.
I thought he nailed Natty Bumppo, because I, like, the whole time seeing that, I have no idea what people sounded like at that time in history and that location, but it just seemed perfect for Natty Bumppo when he was in The Last of the Mohicans.
he as you might imagine, Daniel Day-Lewis decided that like he's gets to style his guy here and everything and whatnot, and no one was madder than Harvey Weinstein because he wanted handsome Daniel Day-Lewis in this, and Daniel
Sure.
Day-Lewis ain't about that. He's like, I want to be greasy and disgusting and gross and have this fake eyeball and look weird. I want to be gross on screen, and he's just like, no, this is ruining it. I want these two handsome men on the poster to try to sell this damn thing, and this guy's looking like a ghoul.
I'm pretty sure this is probably my favorite role of Daniel Day-Lewis's. Bill the Butcher's so much fun for me. I like that character a lot.
Man, it's tough with Danny Lewis, right? Because he does so many good, like there's so many roles that I just love him in. Like even Sins of the Father, he's just so good in it that like I couldn't tell you what my favorite role of his is. I mean, There Will Be Blood is another one where you're just like,
oh
well,
yeah,
who else could do that? It's just him.
Where's that accent from? That's a Daniel Day-Lewis accent.
That's a Daniel Day-Lewis accent, and he came up with it special for the movie.
I found a little something in my back pocket.
Hey guys, I think you're really gonna like this one. It's a Danny Lewis original.
Cooked it up in the back office last night.
I think Daniel Day-Lewis is the first time I understood the meaning of acting range, because the first movie I saw him in was My Left Foot, and the second movie I saw him in was Last of the Mohicans, and those are two very different characters.
For sure.
One guy's writing poetry with his toes, and the other one's running through the woods fighting people. He's like the proto-Rambo.
Can we talk about somebody who has literally no acting range?
Please.
Her name is Cameron Diaz, and I think that this movie single-handedly stalled her career because she is every time she's on screen, you're like, nope, nope.
Who forced Scorsese to cast her? Like this feels like something that was forced upon him.
Here's something I know. Scorsese, believe it or not, the only thing that he had seen her in up until this point was he was handed, like he'd seen nothing previous, but was handed a screener of Being John Malkovich, and that's all he knew from her.
Oh wow.
So that's where he pulled from. He's just like, oh, this girl's great. He's like, I had a whole tons and tons of meetings and stuff with her. He says like, I kept having the meetings because I'm going to be honest with you, I never thought this movie was going to get made. It was just like until we were like literally like I didn't care until we were rolling frames. I was like, I know how Hollywood works. You can get the rug pulled out from me for any, because he's like, I didn't think it was ever going to happen. So but he had a whole bunch of movie meetings and stuff with her, and eventually it's just like, yeah, sure, I'll take a.
Because nobody screams mid-19th century Irish woman like Cameron Diaz.
My God, man, she's just so miscast in this, and I think Cameron Diaz is great in The Right Thing, Being John Malkovich, number one. Something About Mary, amazing in that movie.
The Mask.
Shit, The Mask, she's great in that. But this movie is not a Cameron Diaz should be in this movie. She just isn't. And it's because she's so American. She's just so she's so American. No one would ever believe she's from anywhere but America. She just looks too damn American.
And tell me if I'm way out of line, but I never thought of her as somebody who's a master of dialects.
Clearly you haven't seen. No, I have nothing.
Sometimes I make those statements and then people say, what are you talking about? And then you can drill me with things I didn't think of. Like when I said the last movie looked like a studio film. I didn't know any better.
No, you didn't. That is not what you said. You said this looks like a studio quality film. Which is way better, Bruce Leslie. That is way better.
I wish there was a setting on my DVD player that was just like, can we set this to studio quality? Make this a little bit better. There you go. That's what you do. You put your Puppet Master in, and then you just change the DVD setting to quality.
That's dangerously close to a Gallagher joke.
Apparently, Cameron Diaz and DiCaprio, they were like the only ones that kind of had chemistry of all the people that they kind of tried out together and stuff like that. I mean, that's the tale. Is that's
weird since she's probably 26, 27 years old in this movie.
Yeah. I always thought he
her
liked
being,
girls a
I
little
remember
younger.
her looking worse, which she doesn't. She doesn't look bad, but I for whatever reason in my mind, she was like, messed up, but she's not. She just has red hair, and I guess that's a handicap for some. But here
Whenever they make a
One
Jack
man's
the
plus,
Ripper
another man's
movie,
minus.
whenever they make a Jack the Ripper movie, like especially a modern one, right? Like the Hughes Brothers movie that's based on the Alan Moore book, like stuff like that. Like they always get one of the casting wrong, where it's like all of the women who are getting murdered by Jack the Ripper, they all look great. Where you're like, you know what? That lady looks like she's from that era. Absolutely. And then there's one that they always get wrong where you're like, oh, come on, man. Like this is clearly someone who is an actor. Like this is someone who has gone their entire life to look as good as they possibly can, and you're uglying them up. That is literally what Cameron Diaz feels like to me in this movie, is that one actress that Jack the Ripper either murders or weirdly gets away, like depending on what Jack the Ripper movie you're watching. And she really does feel like that character in this movie to me. Because let's be honest, this movie at one point could have used a Jack the Ripper like side plot.
Yeah, all of a sudden somebody being murdered and you're like, ooh, a development.
Next thing you know, they're at the Chicago World's Fair.
Oh, yes, exactly right. Yeah. Devil in the White City is happening over that way.
So this was all like kind of this is more, I guess, kind of based upon real stuff, but also a very big amalgamation of a whole bunch of things. Scorsese kind of describes it as less of a historical note. It's not like kind of a these were the actual people and actual things. Bill the Butcher was kind of based on another guy, but he died before all the draft riots and stuff like that. So we kind of fudged a couple of things here and there. But he's more like, this is indicative of the feeling of the time, as it were.
Right. And because like if you do any kind of deep dive at all historically with this movie, the timeline is completely wrong. But you learn there is a Bill the Butcher in real life.
The dead rabbits were real.
Dead rabbits are real. The draft riots are real. Like all of that stuff. Like all of that's real. It's just timelines don't match up, and there's weird fudging, like, which I understand why, because it's just such a great visual seeing the people get off the boat from Europe and immediately get signed up to be in the war as a Union soldier and then put on another boat. Like that stuff's great. It's not the way that actually happened, but you can't not do that. It's such a great idea. You have to do that.
And one of the best visuals, in my opinion, of the whole movie was totally fabricated, but it's like a Mark Twain thing. Don't let the truth stand in the way of a good story. But ships never fired on New York during the draft riots.
Right.
But boy, it was a great scene when it happened.
Although it was interesting to learn that the actual Bill the Butcher really was part of the fire brigade.
Yeah, he was a Bowery boy.
Yeah. One of the originals, right? One of the founding Bowery boys.
And he helped form the Know Nothing Party, if you know your old American politics.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're seeing an actual political party here in this fight in the street. It's
they literally just like we'll just name our political parties anything. Like the big, and I get like do they care about juxtaposition in the 1820s and 30s? I don't think so.
We're called wigs. Why? We wear wigs. We're called wigs.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Well,
we're going
the Know Nothing Party is because
I know
basically
nothing but
they didn't have any
country,
platform. They just wanted to be politicians. So when they'd say, "What do you stand for?" I know nothing. What's your platform? I know nothing. Just vote for me, or you're going to get your toes cut off.
And it's all anti-immigration too. Like,
yeah. It's sort of like they didn't want to say the quiet part out loud, basically.
Right.
Nothing.
Oh, and it's great when I see them calling themselves the Native Americans, and I think somewhere the last Mohican is crying.
It is funny because listening to the documentary, you got to hear like Scorsese go, now native is the other, like, and several times they'll be just like, when we're saying this, what we're saying is this, it's like, you get it, but it's like, yeah, we get it, but you're also reiterating a few times too many. It's like, do we care though? Or like we over care, I guess. And it's like, no, really, guys, come on, seriously, let's not.
I mean, it's historically accurate though. That was an actual political party and a group in New York, so he's not like making that up whole cloth. I mean, it uses some harsh language. That's one thing my wife watched it with me, and she's kind of taken aback. But I'm like, he's taking the historicity of it pretty seriously here. You can't show the division without using some of the terms they use.
And he definitely did. Man, he's throwing around that N-word pretty.
Yeah, that's the one.
Pretty freely.
But like all of it, just like against everyone there, it all felt real. It all felt like it was coming from from a real place and real animosity towards these people. So you bought it.
I think the thing that upset my wife the most was the term that rhymes with ink that they use for the Chinese population.
Oh yeah,
I'm not familiar. What's the word? Oh,
there we go.
Sink.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, I've been saying it wrong.
Let's talk about the actual the action in the movie and stuff like that. It was certainly a thing at the time of everybody going like, "Oh, Martin Scorsese's doing this, wild and bloody action thing." Looking back now, over 20 years later, how does especially like the opening scene? How's that hold up for you guys?
I love that opening scene. You're talking about the battle, or are you talking about the scene with this kid? I love that battle. I think it's why I wanted to watch this movie again. I love Liam Neeson as the priest. I love Bill the Butcher coming out there pulling off his top hat, and I don't know, he's got a Bugsy McGraw hat on underneath it, and pulling out his butcher equipment. I love everything about that first scene. The dead rabbits with the things on a pike, the dead rabbits on a pike.
His speech
I
is
just
so
loved
good
it.
that he's just sitting there screaming that, "Oh, the foreign hordes," and you're just like, "Oh my god, this guy is just like murdering it." And this first scene that he's in is just like, "Jeez." Like you knew right there he's gonna get a nomination at least, and sure shooting he did. But it was like, man, he's just killing it at that point.
And I like the part where it looks like the dead rabbits are just grievously outnumbered. Then all the other people start coming in from the wings. I like that opening is really why I think I like this movie. Like when I think, oh man, I love Gangs of New York, what I'm actually saying is, oh man, I love that opening battle. The whole idea, it's like pitched battle in Manhattan. It's the same as what you would get like in Europe during medieval or Renaissance times. So just the whole idea of it blows me away. And it fighting in the snow. I don't know if you've ever been in a fist fight in the snow when you were a kid, but everything is just so much more miserable about it when you're fighting in the snow.
Great juxtaposition though, with all the blood spurting on it there and everything, just the red on white and whatnot. But I also like that again. We are in the film days here, where we are ramping cameras up and down as we are shooting stuff, and so it's like this is the stuff that Zack Snyder saw and was just like, "Oh, I'm doing all of this." It's like,
I really.
You don't have the thing that people like Scorsese have, that where they can focus this in a particular direction.
I'm just so glad to hear you say this. This is like a soothing balm coming from you.
Yeah, I was absolutely thinking of 300 with some of those frame skipping scenes, or what I call them. I don't know the right term.
Do you think? Because let's talk about John C. Reilly for a second.
Yeah.
Do you think anyone has seen this movie and said to themselves, "Oh, I wonder why he isn't doing anything funny"? Like, because this is still when he's a serious actor, right? Like, because 2005 is when he's in Ricky Bobby, and so like, and that's really when like things just go different in his career completely.
Step Brothers were pretty close together.
Right. Step Brothers is a year later. And so there are people who only know him as like, oh, that's the guy from the show on Adult Swim.
He's Paul Thomas Anderson's guy.
Right. But that's before that, right? I mean,
but it's before this. So like, your Hard Eight and Magnolia and stuff. That's all before this. So these are all
but is there a kid somewhere who's seeing this movie and is like, oh, John C. Reilly isn't being funny right now. I wonder why. Do you think that ever happened?
I think it's
Oh,
like
you
the
know it
Homer Simpson
has.
moment where he's just like, "Hold on, everybody, he's gonna do something really stupid," and
Yes,
then it never
yes.
happens.
One thing I know about humanity, particularly in America, is that there are some people who have done that. Like, there's no question about it. There is someone somewhere who went to watch the movie because they thought it was a comedy because they saw a picture of him in it.
Gangs in New York. Look how idiot. Look how stupid that guy looks. Look how
Hey.
stupid with the top hat and the mustache looks.
I saw that Brothers whatever movie that they put out, and I saw that Holmes thing. He's done some things that are supposed to be funny that it sure shit ain't.
Oh yeah, I've heard "Do not under any circumstances watch Watson and Holmes." Is that the name of
Oh,
it?
Yeah, it's
I
terrible.
never would ever.
It was like, I don't know what compelled me, but I was like, I'll watch this, and I was like, this may be one of the worst things I've ever seen. It's like there's not a stitch of funny in it, and you're like, a damn shame, a damn shame.
I've heard it described as neither funny nor dramatic. It's just people being people.
Wow.
People existing.
It's the Duran Duran of movies. People are people. So, let's see. Overall, though, like, Brendan Gleeson. This was like one of the first roles I really kind of remember, like him popping out for me. Was like, oh, I like this guy, and then like very, showing up as like Mad Eye Moody and a couple of other things, and he just becomes one of those guys that shows up in a gajillion things, and then his son comes on and shows up in a gajillion things.
You needed at least one person to fight with the shillelagh in this movie, and he was a good choice.
Do like that brutal beating though with him in there and everything, and just
Oh,
Daniel
yeah.
Day-Lewis, and like kind of like the nice bit about Out of the Frame, which by the way, for a movie that like I think a lot of people would on the surface of it go, oh, this is a very violent movie. This is not nearly as like on-screen bloody and violent as one would suspect. When you think about that opening scene and everything, you think, oh, look at all the blood and stuff. There's not a lot of gore. There's a lot of slashing. There's a lot of, blood trails and stuff within the snow, but you're not seeing people cut up. You're not seeing arms go off or like, a lot of axes and stuff to heads. None of that really happens. Your mind kind of creates it.
Hold on. Because as someone who cannot watch body horror or any eye trauma at all happen to people, when he takes that knife and he taps his glass eye with it, it's horrifying. And the reason why it's horrifying is that Danny Lewis don't have no glass eye in real life. And
that is true.
Horrifying. When I saw that, I was like, I am going to throw up all over my shoes watching this.
He's so method, he got an enucleation just for the role.
Just awful. Awful.
And they're like, oh yeah, he did that. And you're like, what? Okay, yeah, that sounds about Daniel Day-Lewis.
And also, I know Gleason from Braveheart first. Like, Braveheart's the first movie that I was like, that guy. That guy's from Braveheart.
It's funny listening to Scorsese. He was talking about Daniel Day-Lewis there and everything. It's like, well, he's being very judicious on this commentary. It's like, well, I didn't really meet Danny a whole bunch, but we talked to Bill, and Leo talked to Bill a whole bunch, and you know what? I got to like Bill, and so did Leo. God. And I'm like, what the fuck does that even mean?
You know what that means? It means he was a gigantic pain in the ass, and that's one of the things, right? That's why we have the top 5 we have. Look, I don't think anyone would argue that Daniel Day-Lewis is a bad actor. He's not. He's probably our greatest living actor right now. But with that being said, all of this horse shit that he does to get to the part it's just got to be the most maddening experience in the world. Because, you can't call me Daniel Day-Lewis while I'm here. You have to call me my character name. Or like, okay, so the second you walk away from set and you got to live your actual life, you're still being that guy. I find that hard to believe. But
got to go down to Chipotle and pick up his meal.
That's what I mean. That's exactly what I mean. Like, everybody has like their boring ass part of their day. Everyone has that. And it's not like he's going to be Bill the Butcher all the time. Like, he's going to have to be Danny Lewis at some point.
I think if there's a place he could get away with it, though, Rome might be the place.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Oh, you know what? I didn't even think about this. He probably just went back to cobbling shoes. It's right there in Italy. They're right there in Italy.
I think you went to a meat shop and worked as a butcher all day.
My
If
God.
you need me, I'll be back in my trailer cobbling shoes. Ping, 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 ping.
My Air Danny's.
Oh, his trailer smells like garbage. It's awful because they keep bringing in pig carcasses for him to work on.
Oh,
I
God.
like to do a little bit of the carcass work and before I get into the day. Not bad. It's not bad. That's when you know I did a really great impression.
Yeah, whenever you say not bad, not bad.
Whenever I say how good it is.
Look, man, I can't give you shit over that. I laughed so hard at my own joke, and I just got so angry after I did it. I can't remember what the joke was, but I was like, "Oh my God, I'm so clever!" Ha 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 ha. I just hate when I do that. I'm sorry. Continue.
Definitely, all three of us were thinking about Flaming Moe's, though, right? When the drink came out.
Oh yes,
yeah,
without
man.
a doubt, yes. It's cough syrup.
Fire made it better. All right, let's get down to it. Bruce, what is your rating and recommendation for Gangs of New York from 2002?
The way that those plaid pants somehow made Daniel Day-Lewis look like he was walking on stilts, you just can't get that in any other movie, and that means a lot to me. I like this movie. I love any movie with a lot of like combat. I like historical fiction. I love the pitch battle. Like I said at the beginning, this is when I think Leonardo looked the coolest he's ever looked. I didn't quite like his Titanic haircut, and then he's changed a bit in his later productions. And then you consider the fact that Martin Scorsese was nominated for Best Director and lost to Roman Polanski, something that probably wouldn't happen today. All of that makes me feel like I need to pick up Scorsese's spirits while he's listening to this and tell him that this one's a 5-star for me. I love this movie.
Not for nothing, but Pianist was really good and a better movie than this one. I'll go ahead and put that on Front Street. I think that's true. I think that's a very true statement.
Picking his horse. Good job by you. So for me, this is a 5-star movie as well. But I must warn you, if you've never seen this movie before, it is forever long. It is a part-time job watching this movie, and you need to watch it in segments, because I didn't. And by the end of this movie, as I'm watching it last night, I sort of kind of hated it a little bit because
when U2 comes on, that's bound to happen. You know what I'm saying?
Say what?
When U2 comes on, that's bound to happen. You know what I mean? Like, son of a bitch, I hate this.
Man, I didn't even ask for this. But it is a 5-star movie. And I know it gets a lot of shit, the building up of New York at the end of the movie, because it looks so bad now, but it is really cool to see. Even now. I did too.
And I mean, Scorsese must have liked it because he refused to take out the towers or reshoot it or anything. That's why it got pushed back a year.
Nice.
But it was kind of a take it or leave it for me.
What are the odds of this one, boys? According to MBD here, or rather Kenneth
Russell,
is De Niro is 83 today.
Whoa!
And apparently it's the same birthday.
DiCaprio is 51.
Yeah.
Huh?
What?
Wow.
And Ronnie Howard. Boy, we are when it rains, it pours.
Wow.
3 famous child actors.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, man. For me, this I'm going to be the controversial one here. If I looked back on my letterbox to see what I had rated this previously, and I had it at 4 stars. I think I'm going 3.5. It's too long. It's too long. It needs to be shortened. I think Daniel Day-Lewis gets an entire star from it in this.
Yeah.
He is just so damn good.
The best part of the movie.
DiCaprio is good, and you're right, Bruce. This was the first time where it was like, not for nothing, he looked like a man instead of a kid.
I like the mullet over the lesbian loving haircut that he got in the first one.
But he still looked like, he was 17 years old in Titanic. But for this one, it was kind of like he crossed that age Rubicon and became, and I don't know, man, maybe there was a part of it that was also the fact that it was Scorsese and stuff, and it kind of felt like it's not to say that Cameron's not a legit guy, but Scorsese's a different kind of big director than James Cameron is. So it just felt like, oh, okay, we're getting a little bit of real gravitas here. It's like, and everybody's thought was like, oh, is he going to become the new kind of De Niro? And sure, shooting he kind of did,
Yep.
And but I think we're all the better for it too. So like, as
Yep.
while this movie didn't get to the zenith and stuff that it did, I think it cemented a great working relationship between Scorsese and DiCaprio and stuff. And of course, that just lends out to all the other people from Eastwood to Spielberg and everybody in between. I think that guy's going to make it.
Maybe.
DiCaprio. I think he's going to be all right.
Jury's still out.
Happy birthday, Leo. That is it, everybody. I'm gonna say 3.5. Yeah, so 3.5 stars for me. It's a recommendation, but it's not of the higher ones.
Man, I don't think anyone's gonna. Bruce or I are gonna give you shit for it. I mean, I totally get it. I know why people. I mean, like not everybody loves this movie. It's just not their jam. I get it.
That said, I would buy a 4K of this because it's looking a little long in the tooth, and that would.
What is the worst? What is the dumbest movie you own in 4K? Where you're like, man, why did I buy this in 4K?
I don't know that I bought it. Maybe I was gifted it, but I do have Detective Pikachu on 4K.
Wow,
nice.
Yeah. It's at least a halfway decent movie. I mean, as far as Pokemon movies go, it is the best one. Now, that's not saying a whole hell of a lot, but here we are. We got Justice Smith in it. He's become something of a guy.
He's a big deal. He's sort of a big deal.
And there's Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu. That's how I justify it right there. I just figured it out. You just go, that's I'm a big Ryan Reynolds friend. Especially
I want to hear his voice in 4K.
In rat form, of course. That is it for this episode, everybody. Next week we are talking the movie that inspired this development hell month. Coyote versus Acme. That's right. This thing has been sitting on the shelf for a hot minute. Warner Brothers was just like, we got to cut our losses, man. We don't want this bull crap. Send it to the gulag. They sent it out there for a little bit, and the folks over, I think it's at is it Magnet?
No, it's something else.
It's one of those guys.
It's a new one.
But they picked it up and they were just like, "Hey, man, we'll throw this out here," and so we're finally going to be able to see it. And I think people should get out there to the theaters to see this because number one, it's getting really good early buzz here and everything. People are saying, I'm not saying this, but they're saying the best live action animated combo movie of all time. And I was like, when Roger Rabbit exists, that's a wild statement, but we'll figure all that kind of good stuff out. So we'll check all that out next week, starring one Will Forte and just under the gun here.
Fortress
oh shit!
Bucks.
Hold on, wrong button.
Fortress
There
Bucks.
we go. MVD jumps in with a 5. Thank you, MVD. Soon, both Guyver movies will be at 4K. Yummy. Man, Guyver. Oh man, we need to see more Mark Hamill in high definition. That's what I always say. It's just like I wanna see all the crevices. You know what I'm saying?
If you want to really appreciate how good Guyver is, watch Robot Ninja.
Mm-hmm. In the meantime, Bruce, when can we find more of your work on the internet?
You can go on over to my YouTube channel. That's just simply called Bruce Leslie, or you can find it at Anime Dad. And I have a nice discussion about Q the Winged Serpent this week. Still part of my Larry Cohen retrospective. So go check out Death Raining from Above, Q the Winged Serpent with stop motion by none other than David Allen.
It's on the Chrysler Building, isn't it?
I think so.
I think so. Sean, what else?
I got a channel called Sean Lack of the Spaceship. Please watch that. It's on the YouTube, and it's doing great. I can't believe how great my dumb little channel's doing. Thank you, everybody, for all of the great man. I got a bunch of new cold opens this week. Thank you for that, guys. Woo-hoo! If you haven't made one yet, please make another cold open. That'd be awesome. And please check it out. I'm working on stuff right now. There should be one out in a couple of weeks. A new one out in a couple of weeks. I've been very busy. Very, very busy.
Me, I'm not nearly as busy as I should be, but why don't you check out, hopefully, I should be back this week, actually. I think I'm going to do a TikTok trash. I took a couple of weeks off here and everything, so I feel like now it's time to join yet again. So check us out Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. I'll be making fun of people on the internet because it's what I like to do. It makes me feel better about myself to belittle others. See, I just tell you the truth. I don't hide the ball out here. We're honest. And honestly, I'm glad that you all joined us today for yet another episode. Join us next week when we are talking Coyote versus Acme for Sweet Sean's Kovacs from the Internet. Precisely, I'm Meta Porters, reminding you to get out there and watch the movies, you dirty babies.
The distributor is Ketchup Entertainment, which I'd never heard of before. When I saw it in the trailer, I was like, weird. Never heard of that distribution.
For who? For what? The Coyote movie?
Coyote versus Acme.
Huh.
Yep. Weird. Weird.
Weird.
Kenneth Russell, if you were trying to remind me, I just was looking at the comments here. If you're reminding me to say, please hit the like button and subscribe. Thank you. We always forget always for not only this show, for our individual shows as well. So thank you. Thank you, sir. All right. Give me a couple minutes, guys.
All right. We'll be right back, everybody. Please stand by. Give you a little bit of this action. All right.
Sure.
Hey, fellas, just wanted to say that we have a new dirty baby join the family last week. I haven't slept since then, so I'm signing off. Love you, the Night Bar. Congratulations, Night Bar.
Congratulations, man. That's awesome.
Very nice.
Great news for Nybart.
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely have the actual real only number one on this list. You guys will probably have it, but maybe not. We'll see.
I gotta remember what I wrote. Where's my words?
Number 4 may surprise you.
What do you watch Mojo?
That's
I
right.
love this.
That's right. I'm Watch Mojo from 15 years ago.
All right. I had something I wanted to say, but I forgot. My dog just wouldn't take a dump, and I just wanted to strangle him, so I've totally forgotten everything that was going to say.
Got that thick ass neck. Good luck.
Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Just do it. And he's like, oh, I do want to go outside though.
I don't think so. I think I'm going to just sniff around for a bit.
What, you don't like it? You got people you got to get back to? What? No. I do what I want. My dog. All right, let's go.
Let us do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a Take two. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Dinger Zone. My name is Adam. There's Sean.
Cowabunga, yo.
And there's Bruce.
Heidi ho.
Welcome back, everybody. This week we talked about Gangs of New York and one Daniel Day-Lewis doing what Daniel Day-Lewis be doing, which is a little bit of character acting. Sometimes people just go, oh, this is the accent that I put on the entire time just so I don't slip out of the accent. Other people go, this is the accent and the person I'm going to be, so treat me as such. And you're like, oh, goody gumdrops. You're going to be a delight and a half. When I always wonder, just like when it comes for your paycheck, are you still thinking of the 1600s then or something, or are you be able to, catch that bad boy?
Right.
You know what I mean? Where's my
exactly right?
Pay him in Civil War bonds.
Well, watch all of a sudden those are just like, oh, those are way more valuable. But we decided to talk about our top 5 actors who are probably going to be annoying on set. So, Sean, you had a couple of rules for this. I just want to make sure that we kind of get those down, because my kind of criteria was just like somebody who I would imagine some reports have been out there, and others I would just imagine. That's how
that's me too. Me too.
Me too. Yeah.
The rules for myself were no one that I've ever worked with before, because like that's not fair to you guys. Like it's like. I wanted to be more like you look at the person and you go, I bet they suck, like that kind of thing. And so that's totally me. And so that's what this is. This is what that's about for me. The other thing too was I didn't want to use Danny Lewis because we've been talking about him for an hour.
Yes.
And so he would probably make the list if it was just out of left field. Hey, name somebody. He'd probably be on the list. Not probably. He totally would have been on the list.
I'm numero uno.
But that's it. Those are my rules.
Let's get into it then. We'll start with you then, Sean. Number 5.
My number 5, surprising no one, is Steven Seagal, who just seems like the worst human being in the world. And when you hear other people who are quasi-famous who have worked on it, who aren't afraid to speak up, they're like, this guy is the worst. Never give him money ever again. And the Russian mob said, no, I think we will. And so he keeps making movies.
I think he's one of the few actors that has crapped his pants more than once on a movie set.
Listen,
I'm sure some olds have done it somewhere.
Well, he did it in the middle of combat. Or attempted combat.
Terrific. So, Bruce, what is your number 5, sir?
My number 5 is Jared Leto. Just because I get the idea he goes all method. I don't know if he goes all method every time, but it's not going to be a fun time to be around Jared Leto, whether he's acting on set or you're sitting next to him in an Uber. I mean, I just get the idea. The less experience you have with Jared Leto, the better your life is. And it really comes from all the stories that came out when he was in the Suicide Squad as the Joker. Yeah. I don't know how many of those were apocryphal and how many of those were real, but like sending used condoms to your cast members, that should be criminal.
Yep.
I don't know.
No, for sure.
What about you, Adam? What is your number 4 on the list of cranky actors?
Listen, I don't know this one. I'm not 100%. I've heard a little bit of this and a little bit of that, but I think part of it comes from these are Nepo babies right here, and they're not seen as Nepo babies because their dad is a cinematographer, and that's why you don't really think about that too much. But I'm going with either of the Deschanel kids, Elizabeth or Zoe Deschanel. You're getting a twofer on that one. I think both of them are pains in the asses.
I love this. I love this so much, Porches. I don't know. I haven't heard either way, but I can see it. I can see it.
Yeah, maybe, and it's one of those like maybe they're great, but maybe they aren't. Again, I think because you come from a family that's pretty well known, you're very well Hollywood connected and stuff. You have been since you were kids, so like. I think you just kind of are happy to get everything that you get and feel like a lot of things are owed to you. That's just me.
I never would have thought of those two, but I can't argue with it.
It's really good. What do the Jareds have to say?
Ooh, let me pull. Number 5 for MVD is Daniel Day-Lewis. Certainly.
Yeah, totally makes sense.
With that.
You don't need to handcuff yourself like I did. Totally get it.
We allow you into the party here. Sean, number 4.
My number 4 is Jared Leto. Watching Tron, the last Tron 3, more Tron. Keep on Tronin. Jared Leto completely ruins that movie in every frame that he's in, where you can see his stupid face. Because it's just like, man, like, because he was on set, being like, no, I'm this guy. I'm this guy. I'm new Tron. I'm Tron Jr. And you got to treat me as Tron Jr. because that's who I am. I'm Tron 3, Tron the Third. I mean, it just the worst, man. Can you imagine how awful that must have been? Bruce, what is your number 4?
My number 4, and I think you guys are going to agree with this one right away, but I'm thinking Sean Penn. Like Sean Penn is not much fun to watch talk to people in public. He really, really, really takes things seriously.
Yep.
And I just think that would make him very difficult to work with. And, Paul Thomas Anderson had some experience with Daniel Day-Lewis, so he felt ready to tackle Sean Penn. But I just get the idea he's not a good time.
You know who would be a good time, though? I bet you?
Chris Penn?
Chris Penn.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe too good of a time.
Too good a time. Exactly right.
Maybe you're having too much fun.
Yeah.
So, Adam,
I had so much fun, my heart blew up. Fun.
So, Adam, who is your number 4?
My number 4. This works out well because, and I thought this would be the case for him as well because you know your guy after a while. But he's worked with this guy, so he wouldn't mention it, but I will. Mickey Rourke. Mickey Rourke has always been a cantankerous fellow on stage. Or if you go all the way back to what you call it there with him and Riser, what was it? What's the name of that flick?
Diner.
Diner. I knew it was a one-word thing, but yeah, all the way back to Diner, he was kind of a pain in the butt on that one, and all the way, you get post his kind of his boxing career there and everything where he's all jacked up and things get even worse. And here's the thing, he was always a great actor, but you can push it to the limit sometimes.
So can I tell you a story?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
So we're working on this movie that has Mickey Rourke as the lead. Boy, what a fun time that was. You can't wear red because red makes him angry, his people say.
Oh, he's like a bull.
It angers the blood.
So, as a joke, at the end of the show, last day of shooting, it's going to be the wrap for it's going to be the wrap day for Mickey Rourke. We're shooting him out of the show, out of the movie. The entire crew wears red. Like,
I love that story.
Like, isn't this good? Isn't this good? We're all wearing red. Funny, right? Not to Mickey Rourke, it ain't. To Mickey Rourke. To Mickey Rourke, he's pissed. And he is pissed the entire day. Next day, and we're shooting out Sarah Silverman for the rest of her stuff. She gets out onto the front porch and and they're like setting up a shot for something. And she turns out and very funny. She's so funny. She goes, I bet if Mickey was still here, you'd be set up in time. And oh my God, we laughed so hard. It was so funny.
He got so angry he took his little dog out of his pocket.
Oh God, I hated that experience so much. Although it was like at the time, it was like, this is so weird. This is so funny. Like, we're all gonna remember this forever. I couldn't even, I do remember the name of the movie. I don't want to say it, but I bet in a couple years I'm never gonna remember the name of the movie. But I'll always remember Mickey Rourke on that movie. I'll always remember that. So, Bruce, what is your number 4? It's me.
Yeah, I was like, you didn't get yours, brother.
I just completely took over Adam Porteous's. I'm sorry, sir. What does the Jareds have to say in the Galleria?
In the Galleria of comments, we have Jared Leto from MVD for number 4.
Just makes sense. Just makes good sense.
Just to common sense.
Common sense.
What's that even mean, horse sense?
It means that
horses.
Horses know, like, hey, it's going to rain. I should probably get some cover here.
And also, like, horses know the way home. Horses know the way home, even if you don't, is kind of the thing. You never get a DUI on a horse because the horse is sober.
Officer, he's sober as a church mouse. He's pointing to the
I bet
horse.
you there's a couple of Chris Penn parties that wasn't the case. Come on.
He got a few horses drunk in his time.
Come on.
All right, Shanzi, what do you got for number 3 there?
My number 3, this guy just seems like such a prick. Mark Wahlberg. I have no idea. I of course have heard stories from time to time from friends of mine. But my God, anytime this guy's in an interview, you're like, can you be more unlikable? Could you be a more unlikable human being? He just seems like the worst, man.
Well, the problem is that like he's trying to come off as like he's super relatable, but also he's better than you at the same time. It's like you can't be both things simultaneously. You can't be just like us, but also I'm better than all of you, huh?
I'm sure it hasn't happened in a while, but I've heard he explodes if he hears someone say the phrase "Marky Mark" when he's.
Oh, I'm sure. No, and I'm sure that still happens, man. There's no way that doesn't happen. It has to happen, right? It has to. The other thing too, the other thing too with him, because I always think of this when I see him in a movie now, is that great line that Griffin Newman on Blank Check had about Mark Wahlberg, where you can't watch Mark Wahlberg in a movie where if the actual Mark Wahlberg would have met the character Mark Wahlberg is playing in real life, he'd want to kick his ass.
Yeah,
and I think about that all the time with Mark Wahlberg movies.
Hey, that guy's a bit of a nerd. I'm gonna kick the crap out of him.
There's another great example, right? Is that the Saturday Night Live sketch where he gets furious over that sketch where they're like, "Hey," talking to the stuffed dog,
animals.
"Hey, tell your mom I said hi," like that, and he's furious about it. And I don't know how we all knew that he hated it until like his agent was like, "Dude, you got to go on there and you got to play nice."
Oh no, I'm totally happy with this. This is real good. No, this is funny. I like this. This makes me happy. It's like, no, it does not.
The worst.
It certainly does not make you happy. This drives you bananas and you hate it.
He would have made one heck of an Amsterdam.
Oh, wow. I'm sure he thinks he could play that role. So Bruce, what is your number 3, sir?
Now, this isn't necessarily based on him being a bad guy or anything. I'm sure he'd be very nice to people. but he is not listening to direction. Like he knows what he's going to do. He knows when he's going to do it, how he's going to do it, and how long he's going to do it. And that's Crispin Glover.
Oh,
I think it'd be very
really
frustrating to direct because you never know what you're getting with Crispin Glover, especially if you're David Letterman.
Yeah, I mean, like there were so many times when he had like certain thoughts and ideas on Back to the Future, and they were just like, "Listen, thanks for the ideas, but no, this is what we're doing here." And they were just like, he was almost inconsolable sometimes of trying to like, "Well, no, I want to do this thing." It's like, you are such a pain in the ass. And then of course with Back to the Future 2, he had a whole bunch of ideas for what his character. It's like, no. You are an actor. We hire you to act. We didn't hire you to write or do all these other things. This is stay in your lane and you do the thing that we want you to, or we'll kill your character. How about that?
Well, they did replace him.
Yeah.
But also I heard that he choreographed his own dance in that Friday the 13th sequel.
Well, that makes sense.
What you didn't bring in Baryshnikov for that? I mean, if you say so.
What do you
have
got,
Paul
Adam,
Abdul just off camera?
I love that idea.
Together this.
Some choreographer named Elaine Benez helped him with that one.
That's really good.
All right, so Adam, what do you got in your number 3 spot?
My number 3 has been mentioned by everybody, so I feel like that almost de facto makes him number 1, despite him being lower. But this is yet a quadro here for Jared Leto, because I'm counting the Jareds in the comments as well. It's Jared Leto all around. Like, for example, he shows up to Fight Club with that hair. He didn't tell nobody. He just shows up and goes, "This is what I'm doing." And Fincher's like, "Shit. All right, I guess this is what we're doing." Exact same thing, and he shouldn't have been surprised. But the exact same thing with Panic Room. He shows up with the Allen Iverson haircut, didn't tell nobody that this is what he was doing. But it's just like, at the end of the day, I think like a lot of things, people just go like, "Okay, we'll just
eye rolling the entire. Okay, fine, Jared.
We'll just go with it. It's easier not to fight him and just let him do the stupid crap he wants to do. Just let him go." And like I feel like they just like, we get enough of a product at the end that's good enough. We can deal with some shenanigan bull crap here and there. I think that's how it works, or at least has been working to some degree or another. But listen, like I said, unanimous around the corner here is the old Jared Leto's a turd ball. On to Sean.
Do we have a number 3?
I'm so sorry. Number 3 from MVD. We got Gwyneth Paltrow. Yes, sir, Bob. Oh, baby. Woo! You mean the old, again, we got another Nepo baby on our hands here, boys. Another Nepo baby who's been successful for her entire career and got a lot of things handed to her on a silver platter, especially when it comes to old Harvey Weinstein. So, I could imagine. And I've heard Taylor. I've heard Taylor too.
MVD can confirm the worst.
Mm-hmm.
Never, literally number 1 on my list. Number 1, the worst. A lot of this. Excuse me.
Ooh.
A lot of that.
Oh, you gotta love that.
Well, snapping for the dog. Come on now. Just trying to.
Nope.
Don't need that. No, thank you. All right, number 3 or 2. Rather.
Number 2 for Sean.
Number 2 for me. This is not an indictment on the work. The work at times is great. Even latter day work is great to some extent with some things. But I can't even imagine how just wretched it must have been to be on set with Jim Carrey during Man on the Moon, the filming of Man on the Moon. Yeah. Just no thank you, never, ever. No, nope, no thanks. The worst. I've there's that documentary. I got maybe 5 minutes into it. It was like, nope. I don't need to know another single moment of this. I know exactly what was happening just watching those first 5 minutes. Never. He must be the worst because he's also one of those guys. He's one of those comedians that's a very physical comic, right? So like he leaves it all on stage where like, oh, I couldn't possibly do that right now. I'm just so tired. Like I'm certain he does that also, even with the goofy shit. So that is why James Carrey is my number 2. Jim Carrey.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Especially, and even certainly around the time where he was, earning $20 million a picture, which was like unbelievably heard of, especially for somebody that was doing comedy back then, where it was just, you know, and that was his like SNL like his monologue bit was like, I make minimum wage where I live is $20 million.
Yeah.
I also I also think at the early days of social media, it really exposed who he was as a person, and somebody to take his passwords away from him.
And then he had an arc, and then he switched again. The man's had quite the rise and fall and rise and weird stuff. God bless him. I hope he has some. I hope he finds peace for whatever that means.
But I think I don't think that I'm being. I don't think I'm overstating this at all. He is the reason why there's more than one Sonic the Hedgehog movie. Like he's so good in those movies. That you just like the only reason why I would ever watch the sequel, which I still haven't, but the only reason why I would watch it is to see what Jim Carrey's doing in that.
Yeah, he's just having fun. They're like, hey, whatever you want to do. He goes, whatever I want to do. It's like, yeah, okay. And then God bless him, he's having a good old time with it.
What he wants to do is not bad with that character.
Yeah.
Ready for my number 2?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Bruce, what's your number 2?
It's well-trod territory at this point, but Gwyneth Paltrow, I've said that many times on the show over the years, going all the way back to Iron Man, that I think Gwyneth Paltrow is probably miserable to be around. However, it kills me at how good she is. You know what I mean? It's like it'd be so much easier to hate her if she didn't turn in such great roles sometimes. Or great performances, rather.
Yeah, because she's just coasting through it.
Now, Adam, do you have a number 2?
My number 2 is a gentleman who had quite the reputation, and I think very much lived up to it all the way up into the end, and that's Marlon Brando.
Oh yeah.
I never even thought of that, but the water bucket on the head,
giant pain in the ass, won't be there for your side of the camera read, doesn't know his lines, so we're posting them all over the place, so you think he's looking up and thinking about lines, but he's not. He's reading a cue card that some guy's holding over there, and just real pain in the ass stuff, not coming to the set in Apocalypse Now. It's just like thing after thing after thing after thing. The man was just absolutely notorious.
Meets a little guy on the street and brings him in to be a co-star in a movie.
You know what I think is funny? It's this little guy right here. We're gonna put him in, I'm gonna play the piano, and then we're gonna put another piano on top of that, and then he's gonna play that piano too. It's gonna be perfect.
The only good thing about that is with Austin Powers too. And it like I can remember the moment where I saw the trailer for it and the little mini me came out. I was like, this is literally a reference to a movie that like maybe 5 people have seen, and it's still gonna kill. It's still gonna kill.
So Marlon Brando, number 2. Number 2 in the chat for MVD is Christian Bale. Yeah, I can imagine. Well,
yeah, he definitely had that famous thing that came out, but some people on the inside have definitely justified that perhaps it wasn't his fault. That's what I'm trying to say, is maybe that was one where you only saw half the conversation.
When I heard that rant for Terminator and just how he was going after him and the words he was saying, I was kind of like, I feel like this crash house justified. He's trying to act and somebody's walking around in the back doing, nonsense work and everything. And it's just like, hey, I'm in the middle of my job here. What are you doing, messing around?
Do you want me to tell the story, or would you rather move on? Because I have the story.
No, please.
So one of my first jobs, I worked on a commercial for The Gap. And the dude that Christian Bale is screaming at was like the gaffer on that show. And he would literally walk onto set while we were shooting and take a laser pointer and just start pointing at stuff for the other guys while we were shooting. And I remember thinking at the time, like, oh, that's weird. And the director not chastising him for it, like in front of everybody, like, who do you think you are? Like that kind of thing. and he kept doing it, and it just made us all crazy because it's like, why are you still doing this? So he's just going to be able to do this, I guess. I can't remember the guy's name, which sucks because there is a really great ending to this. So he is on the Terminator Genesis movie when all of that happens with Christian Bale, and Christian Bale's like, "Good for you, you're a nice guy, that whole thing. And
I love that, by the way, I use it monthly.
When I learned it's the same guy, I instantly knew that, like, oh, this guy did it several times. And at this point now, he's the director of photography because he was the director of photography on that. I don't know if he ended up finishing that movie. Maybe not. I don't remember. But, all of the public was like, oh, and Christian Bale's just a nut job and crazy. No, Christian Bale is correct. Like, this guy should not be allowed to do whatever he wants whenever he wants to. Then smash cut to 2023. I'm on a movie with Snoop Dogg and a bunch of kids that is shooting a thing. We're shooting a thing. Dude comes out, and I tell my boss, I'm like, listen, we need to watch out for this guy because this guy, he's the guy that Christian Bale has screamed at. And my boss is like, well, he can't. Like he learned his lesson, right? You think he learned his lesson? I was like, I have no idea, but we need to be careful around him. Like, something is going to happen. Smash cut 2. We're about a month into shooting, and he's reading off the lines of the script. And keep in mind, there's like 20 African American kids under the age of 12 in the room with him. And so he's reading off the lines that are on the script, and in the script is the N-word. And it's 2 characters who are African American talking about like talking to each other. DP goes, and blah 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 blah, and uses the N-word. And immediately all of the stage moms' ears go up, like, instantly. Like, excuse me? And he says it again. And then our second AD goes bananas. He's an African-American guy, and he's also the most chill man in the world. And he goes bananas. And he walks over to the producers and he goes, either he's gone or I'm gone. Like there is a history here. We're hearing a middle-aged white guy say to like around 11-year-old boys, like, that word, that is no good. That is no good. We're all gonna walk if this is allowed to continue. The DP, instead of being like oh no, my job's on the line here, he's like, it's in the script. What?
Yeah, I knew that was it.
Why can't I use it? It's in the script. Well, you know why you can't use that word? Because you are a white man and you are not an 11-year-old African-American kid talking to another 11-year-old African-American kid. There is a very big difference between this. And Adam Porteous, I see your face, and you are incorrect, sir. That is
Kramer.
He's just supposed to say, and you say this line, and then you say your line. Like, that's what you're supposed to do with this sort of, whatever that is. Like, and you say this line, or like the first like 2 words of it's like, you say, John, come here, or whatever. Just you say yours, you say yours. Just do that, dummy.
So keep in mind, I am not on set when this all goes down. I am doing my job, which makes me be offset when this is happening. However, I am going from like set A to set B, and my boss literally calls me and I'm doing something, and he immediately texts me, which he never does. And he immediately texts me, call me right now. And so I'm like, okay, I pull over. Yeah, what's going on? And he tells me this whole story. And he's like, he's like, no one would ever believe you if you were to tell me, if you were to say to me, oh, hey, I was thinking about telling you that like this guy's somebody to look out for. Like, I would like no one would ever have believed you that if you would have said something to me. But then my boss said something to his boss. His boss said something to the production staff. So like, he didn't have, that DP didn't have a pay to play thing where he had like there was a morals clause in his contract. So if something happened, they didn't have to pay him for the rest of the show. Like
nice.
you do something terrible, we don't pay you for the rest of the thing. And so they didn't have to. And it's literally because I warned my boss about a month before that guy walked in. And I was like, holy cow, like I've just affected this. Like, this is really cool that this happened. It's awesome.
So MVD's is Christian Bale.
Christian Bale.
So
I
who's your
told you-
number one, Chauncey?
I told you I was going to
So
take it
he-
over. I'm
he says
sorry.
it's time we can start the show. So that's
Oh,
good.
right. Yeah, Alex, let's do it, buddy. Let's do it. Cowbunga, y'all. So
All right.
my number one is somebody I've never heard anything about her. I don't know. I have no idea if she is a good or bad person. I don't know anyone I haven't heard good nor bad. I know nothing. But
I'm
every
not
time
sure.
I see her on screen, I'm like, that Jada Pinkett Smith seems like the worst human being in the world. She just seems awful. And like when she was young, she seemed okay. But the second she starts being connected with Will Smith, and maybe or maybe not, there's some Scientology there, maybe or maybe who knows? Who
There's
knows?
always a question.
So once all that starts up, anytime you see her off screen, not acting, or even sometimes acting, like on Gotham, you could see her behaving on Gotham, being like, I bet she's really like that as Fish Mooney. Like you can tell, like, I bet she's actually like this in real life. And so for me, my number one is Jada Pinkett Smith.
I hear she came in her own wardrobe for that show.
I
Oh, that's
remember
great.
like we were so polarized because I hated Fish Mooney and you loved her, Sean. So we were always arguing about that.
No, we weren't ever arguing about that.
Slamming his hand on the desk, going, "She's the best." And we're like, "All right, all right."
I love her. Leave her alone. I'm
I
crying
think we
like that
need-
gay guy talking about Britney.
We need bottle episodes with just Fish Mooney, please. Thank you. Where's
We're
Ryan
trapped in
Gosling?
here
We
with
need-
Jada Pinkett Smith. My God.
It's a nightmare.
So, Bruce, what's your number one, sir?
I have the number one, and I'm going to stand firm on that. You can come at me if you want to, but it's got to be Klaus Kinski.
Oh, God, yes. Yes.
It's got to be Klaus Kinski. I mean,
Yes.
all the stories about him and Werner Herzog and their weird love-hate relationship,
Mhm.
like guns are getting pulled when Klaus Kinski's on set. That is what we're talking about here.
Mhm.
So I think it's got to be Klaus Kinski.
Yep.
A little bit
Yep.
of passion in your life. That's all you need. Just a little bit of passion.
So who's your number one, Adam?
My number one, again, I don't know that he's necessarily like a giant pain in the ass, but I feel like there's a chance he could be a pain in the ass because you never quite know what you're going to get. And we've talked about him several times on the podcast because no matter what, you're going to get an interesting performance. It may be a good one, it may be a bad one, but it's going to be an interesting one from Benicio del Toro. And
He's so lovable though.
I feel like he could be, I don't know, like I could be wrong. This just makes me feel like because he makes very specific character decisions and is very solid on those and does not kind of want to deviate from them, that could be a real pain in the ass kind of thing. I could be
Kind
wrong.
of like what I felt about Crispin Glover. I see it now.
Interesting.
I could be wrong, but I just, there's enough weird things where you're just like, this is what you're doing for a Star Wars film?
I think he could sweet talk some. I feel like he could sweet talk you into thinking that it was your idea or something. Though I just get the idea that people love to just like hang around him.
Yeah, like because when he shows up in The Usual Suspects, like his thought was, and he says it, he goes, "Listen, I die on page 30 or whatever it is. I wanted to make an impression, so I came up with this weird ass character." And God knows he's the thing that you remember from it. Save for the twist and all that kind of jazz. That's what you remember. You remember Benicio del Toro just mumbling his way through stuff, looking weird, and his eyebrows all shaved and stuff like that. These are all his weird ass choices.
Hey, he gave me one of my favorite lines. Just a few small beers. You had anything to drink? Just a few small beers.
But he is really great. I watched what did the French Dispatch again.
Oh,
And
love that movie. Love that movie.
he's so good in it. He is really, really, really great in that.
He is. That movie is so good. That movie, as much as I wanted to love what's it called? Astro City?
Mhm.
Yeah.
As much as I wanted to love that movie, it's actually The French Dispatch, which is a far, far superior movie.
I agree.
And by the way, Kenneth Russell, I understand Amadeus is an amazing movie. Please continue.
Oh yeah. Listen, I ended up picking old Amadeus up on at the used record store because I was like, ooh, you know what? I want this. Number one for MVD, of course, is Klaus Kinski. Oh my God, he's in my house. He's got a knife. No. Well, that is it, everybody. All of these people are pain in the asses, but you know who ain't? You, you lovely little dirty baby. You.
True. Thank you for sticking around. Jesus.
Yeah, man, we really appreciate that, and we'll see you guys all next week. Adios, mofos.
Mwah!
Perfect as always.
It's just always perfect.
All right. See you guys later.
Coyote
boys.
versus Heck me. All right, gentlemen. Adios. See ya, chat.
Bye, everybody.
All the kids at Springfield are little SOBs.